Good day everyone, and I welcome you to Film Famous. Today we'll be talking about my 600-pound cast who weren't all in it to lose their weight. If you haven't clicked on the subscribe button, please do. Sit back, relax and enjoy. Penny Saegar. On our top spot is Penny Saegar. Penny, who got her reputation for being completely stubborn and not sticking to the recommendations given to her by Dr. Now. Penny Saegar appeared on Season 2, Episode 4 of the show in 2014. Penny was 46 years old and she weighed over 530 pounds, which made Penny bedridden for over 4 years. Penny had always been heavy and she was using food as a way to escape from her abusive father, who was also an alcoholic. At age 9, Penny had already begun to wear plus-size clothing. She weighed over 300 pounds by the time Penny was 22. When Penny started dating her husband Edgar, she had gained another 150 pounds, adding more when she became pregnant with their son Liam. Penny was never able to lose weight since. Penny claimed that she was working really hard to help control her weight gain, but viewers at home questioned if that statement was true. Penny Saegar's first encounter with Dr. Now, she was anxious to prove to him that she could lose weight. But Penny only lost 35 pounds. Still, it was enough to show her commitment. Penny had the surgery. Penny Saegar did not lose weight again after that. Penny sneaked in food to the hospital, asked nurses for an extra meal, and Penny left the show shortly after the surgery, claiming she was doing better and seeing improvements in her health. Schenee Hawkins. On our number 2 spot is Schenee Hawkins. Schenee appeared in My 600-Pound Life in Season 6, Episode 13. Schenee was 27 years old when she stood out in the show because she weighed a whopping 712 pounds, therefore automatically making her one of the largest cast. Schenee began struggling with her weight issues since she was 5, and she traced it back to when her cousin sexually molested her when Schenee was in kindergarten. For Schenee to be able to deal with the trauma of the incident, Schenee started sneaking in food and overeating. By the time Schenee was 7, she weighed over 130 pounds. Her teacher, in an attempt to humiliate Schenee, threw away her lunch. This drove her towards food even more. Schenee was also bullied for her weight, and by 16 she was close to 200 pounds. It went up to 300 pounds by the time she graduated high school. Later on, Schenee got a bacteria infection, cellulitis that affected her legs and stopped her movement. When Schenee was 23, she was raped by one of her cousin's acquaintances, driving her to the comfort of food. By the time Schenee married Freddie, her husband, she was over 500 pounds. Schenee met Dr. Now and was put on a 1,200 calorie a day diet to aid the 30-pound loss within the month, which she missed, only losing 28. After she was hospitalized by Dr. Now, it helped lose her over 91 pounds, but later she gained 43 pounds again. Schenee leaves the show. It was revealed she was sneaking in food into the hospital and dumping it in other patients' trash bins. Schenee later created a GoFundMe account to share her story.
Schenee, the lying need to stop now.
Angela Marie Dunham-Johns. Next at number 3 is Angela Marie Dunham-Johns, popularly known as Angie Jane. Angie Jane began the show at over 643 pounds at the age of 39 years. Angie was married to Justin, her husband, when Angie first appeared in the show. Angie Jane became dependent on food due to the trauma she faced from her abusive upbringing and drug addiction. Angie finds out she has to drop a significant amount of weight to even qualify for the weight loss surgery. Just like a lot of the cast of My 600-Pound Life that are on Dr. Now's program, Angie Jane was resistant to change. Angie scoffed at Dr. Now's diet plan, calling it bullshit. Angela Johns went back to her drug habit while under the nose of Dr. Now. It's a known fact throughout the journey of Angie Jane, she only lost 49 pounds in the show, under 8 months. Even after a rocky start in the show and setbacks, Angela Johns was able to turn things around for herself. But unfortunately for Angie Jane, her husband Justin left her. Even dealing with all that, Angie Jane kept up with a positive attitude. During the show, Angie Jane was known to be very combative with Dr. Now during her episode. Angie Jane claimed Dr. Now was punishing her. Angie Jane was very manipulative to her family members while she abused drugs. Dr. Now sent her to rehab and Angie didn't go, stating Dr. Now was lying about everything. Angie Jane set up a GoFundMe account to help with her expenses, despite not complying on the show. James King. Our number 4 is James King, generally known as James K. James King appeared in the show in Season 5, Episode 5. James K suffered childhood trauma, saying his mother was an absent parent, claiming that he, James, only saw my mother 3 times during my entire childhood, and she was drunk every time. This required James' father to take care of him and his brother Donald. Later in life, he reconnects with his mother, but the pain of abandonment, toppled with his mother's passing away on the exact same day that his family lost everything in a house fire, caused James K to fall into the well of sadness. "I lost just about everything I had in a single day," James King said during his episode on air. James K fell into depression, and that caused him to overeat, keeping him away from exercising and other social activities. "It seemed all I wanted to do was eat," James K mentioned during his episode. When James appeared on Dr. Now's program, where he weighed over 791 pounds and was bedridden, James K relied on his wife Lisa and his children to keep his body clean and fed. During James K's stay in the program, James K showed the high attitude of selfishness. It was noted his daughter had to drop out of school to take care of her dad, who was a grown man in his 40s. James King made excuses for their dependence on high-calorie and high-fat takeout food. When his wife Lisa offers him some fish for dinner, James King states, "I don't want that shit, I'm tired of that same old stuff." Later on, Dr. Now accuses Lisa of overfeeding James King on purpose by bringing him food from outside. Dr. Now called Adult Protective Services after James K gained more weight. Dr. Now tried to ban Lisa from James King's side for 5 days, but he didn't accept. Dr. Now dropped James King from the program. Lee Sutton and Rena Kriser. Down to our number 5 as a couple, Lee Sutton and Rena Kriser. Rena and Lee met at a weight loss clinic where Lee was a roommate to her brother, who was also having problems with his weight. "I remember meeting Rena for the first time. Her brother was my roommate at the bariatric clinic," Lee states, "and I kind of felt jealous how she would make sure what he needed. But the clinic doesn't allow their patients to be in a relationship." Lee leaves the clinic and spends 11 years with Rena Kriser before they both appear on My 600-Pound Life after they become immobile, and Lee's sister Cassie was their carer. Lee and Rena starred in Season 6, Episode 1. At that time, Lee was 42 years old and Rena was 39 years old. Lee weighed over 714 pounds, while his girlfriend Rena Kriser was 542 pounds. They contacted Dr. Yunan Nazaradan in order to help them shed a lot of weight. Rena and Lee head to Houston to start Dr. Now's program. Lee and Rena work hard and stay on course with Dr. Now's diet, as in the next episode in which they aired, Rena and Lee had lost nearly half their original weight. Lee weighed 411 pounds and Rena was 278 pounds. Lee struggled with the diet a lot more than Rena did, and most of the time Lee takes out his anger and frustration on his poor girlfriend Rena. Even with Lee's frequent and angry outbursts, Lee's father was diagnosed with cancer, and this puts Lena's skin surgery on hold. After Lee Sutton's first surgery and he failed to lose weight as Dr. Now expected, Lee drops only 9 pounds on his own. This made Dr. Now not very happy with the situation. Dr. Now complains to Lee saying, "What in the world is going on with you? You're choosing to overeat and you think it's okay." Dr. Now asked. Lee Sutton complains he was throwing up. That's why he was having problems with his weight. An unfazed Dr. Now states, "That's how it works. You throw up constantly because the surgery forces you to when you overeat now." But Lee Sutton was hell-bent on defending himself, claiming he was afraid of being malnourished. After the surgery, it was known that Lee had anger management issues. Dr. Now sends him to a therapist so he could learn to control his actions and attitude towards things and people more better.